Hey there viewers, thank you for tuning in to Supermariodiagnostics once again. Today we are working on a 2020... Hey there viewers, thank you for tuning in to Supermariodiagnostics once again. Today we are working on a 2010 Chrysler 300 Touring Edition. And it has got the 3.5 liter engine in it. The customer complaint is check engine light blinking, it's misfiring. And from last I've heard, it's got some new parts on it, but it continued to misfire. So they brought it over to us, and yeah, I did a pre-scan as per usual with the maintainer connected, and this is what we have. Let's go to report, and we have some all stored codes: oxygen sensor bank 2, sensor 1, circuit low, oxygen sensor bank 2, circuit sensor 1, circuit high, multiple cylinder misfire, and implausible left wheel speed sensor issue. So yeah, everything else is not within the scope of the video, so let's go ahead and reproduce the symptom. I'm going to take this camera off of the tripod and you guys can follow along. And let me grab my scanner. Alright, and we are in, key on, engine off, and we're going to start our vehicle. And the car's making music, but that's a heat shield that's just loose underneath, nothing crazy. Got our check engine light, it is blinking, and let's see if we can pull any data out of this thing. And this thing just backed out on me. Oh, tell, what is wrong with you? And it says that it's running, but it's really not. It doesn't pull it up, so I have to start it all over. Man, I seem to be having like all kinds of tooling problems. Like when it rains, it pours, right? So, goodness. I'm gonna turn off the vehicle for now. I don't believe these have cylinder deactivation. So, for now, we're gonna go into the history and pull this up again. We're just getting all kinds of tooling issues lately. Pretty sure Autel doesn't watch my videos, so they probably won't care. Let's go straight to the PCM. And let's go to misfire data. And let's start our vehicle. Alright. We got misfires on cylinders on bank 2. 2, 4, and 6, fellas. On my way driving it over in here, I've noticed that as soon as I tip in that throttle, it stops misfiring. It feels smooth. Then I let go of the throttle and bam, we got full on misfires. So I'm gonna hold the throttle just to stop it from misfiring. I want to check any other live data that might be useful to us. Maybe fuel trims, if there's any timing issues, but I really doubt it because it goes away. I can't say that I'm crazy familiar with this engine because I haven't seen it in such a long time. It's probably been years since I've seen this thing. And yeah. All right. Alright, so we have injector pulses here. At idle, we have a huge variation of injector pulse between bank 1 and bank 2. If you look at bank 1 over here, that is showing us that we have much richer condition here than we have here. So there's a feedback thing going on, right? Which may have something to do with the O2 sensor codes. Could be something else. Could be a restricted cat for all we know. But let's keep going. Alright, so we got some O2 sensor data here. Let's pick 1.1, 1.2, 2.1, and 2.2. Let's just show those for now. Oh crap. Sorry. I hit back by mistake. No worries. The video would just be a little longer. Here you go. Let's go back. Or 0, I don't want goal. 2.1, 2.2, and let's show those only. We can graph them as well if you like. I don't know that I care for that right now, but we can see that our blue one is moving, right? It's flickering. It's behaving as it should, I would say. The refresh rate on this scanner isn't all that amazing, but what I have noticed as well is that 2.2 is dead flat, but 2.1 is way too high. So which one's lying, right? We look at 1.1 and 1.2, we're getting what we should get, but this isn't right here. I don't believe this is right. Let's hold the gas a little to get it to stop misfiring. See what changes. Not much changes. Maybe it goes into open loop. Let's see if we can find that data PID. Let's see if we can find that. It's usually on the top. It might be under fuel status. Let's search fuel status here. Status. We got nothing. It may be in global data though. It looks like we have an issue with the O2 sensors, which the codes did mention. And yes, they will have that much of an effect on misfiring, causing misfires. So let's look at our long-term and short-term fuel trims. And they are all at the bottom. And we can see that 2.1 long-term is extremely rich. So it is compensating for a perceived lean condition. So which one is it listening to? Is it listening to the 2.4 volts, which is extremely rich, or is it responding to our downstream sensor, which is stuck lean? Let me rev it up, see if it ever moves. Never moves. Never moves. Stuck lean. And I don't think there's an exhaust leak prior to the upstream O2 sensors, or else that would be stuck lean. But a stuck I'm sorry, I don't think there's an exhaust leak here, because that would be stuck lean. But if there could be an exhaust leak here, I don't hear it, but it could be just a dead sensor. So what we could do is leave the key on, engine off, and lift the car up, and we can disconnect the sensor and check to see if our reference voltage is good. So we should be getting around 450 millivolts, right? So turn that off right there. I got a bunch of stuff on my camera that I don't need. I have this set up for another vehicle, which is gonna lift this sucker up. All right, so we have the vehicle up, and key on, engine off. All of the O2 sensors have gone to 1.27, and yeah, that tells me reference voltage is good, but we want to see if the signal's good. I do believe that proves to us that we have continuity to the O2 sensors. I believe both of them are lying. I think there's an issue with both of them, honestly, but still want to make sure. that doing a quick test will prove that we have good continuity to the PCM. So that quick test is just grabbing a grounded test light. So let me just grab a test light real quick. I do apologize for the coughing and all. Yeah. And I want to test my test light, so I've got the starter down here somewhere. And I'm just going to ground my test light here somewhere on the engine, and I see my starter. You guys won't be able to see this, but I'm just simply touching the starter positive to check my test light. So it is good, we have a good ground, and I'm going to disconnect one of these O2 sensors. They're easy to get to. And on the harness side, we're just gonna put, if you guys can see this, I don't know that you will be able to. Well, instead of going through the whole mission, every O2 sensor, every narrow band O2 sensor has two same color wires. That's the heater circuit. Those are not the ones we're testing. We don't have any codes for that either. And it also has the two remaining wires. They will be different colors. So in our case, I already found my two different colored wires, and the terminals that I got are the wrong size. So yeah, those aren't it. Let me just grab the right ones. I believe on the AES terminal kit, this will be the right one for O2 sensors. And my test light fell, so we're gonna reconnect that. We're gonna go back to our O2 sensor, connect this terminal to the pin instead of, you know, destroying it with some jackhammers like some people do. And I'm going to freeze this, and you guys can see that the one that we just grounded is bank 2 sensor 2. So the driver side is bank 2, and we have good continuity to the PCM. So I also want to do the same thing, even though theoretically, since all of these are going back to 1.27, when I disconnected it, there was no change in voltages. It stayed at 1.27, connected or disconnected. So it's all going back to the reference voltage. All I wanted to do was ground it momentarily in order to prove that it was good up to the PCM. And this proves to us that there is a problem with the O2 sensor itself. So I should probably do that with the upstream as well. I do believe we have an issue there. And my test light will just not stay put. It is not that heavy. My plugs, I guess, are just becoming weaker. So yeah, that is an issue with the O2 sensor. Let's see if we could take a look at the upstream one, and that is way up there, and it is hot down here, and I won't be able to reach. Maybe I will. Nope. Definitely can't. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring down the car and test that one, and more than likely this is going to be O2 sensors fixing these misfire concerns. So could have been worse, could have been a timing issue. But yeah, this probably would have been one of those cases where if you would have gone to AutoZone, they would have gotten lucky, sold you some O2 sensors and fixed your problem. But no, that's not how we do it here. We are actually testing. We're using data to come to our conclusion. We're not just slapping parts on cars, because that's not what we do, and that's not what most shops, that's not what any shop should be doing. If people are just trying parts on your car, then you should change shops. Plainly, just putting that out there. I'm just telling you how it is, because I too have, like, everyone started somewhere. I was a rookie, and in some ways I'm still a rookie, but in those days it was just, you know, hey, let's see if it'll fix it. But that's the lazy way to do it. It's usually a result of lack of understanding. It's usually when a technician, not to go off on a whole tangent, but usually when a technician gets better at their craft, their burden for proof increases. They want to know what's wrong, instead of, you know, how you are when you're a rookie. When you're a rookie, you're like, I don't know exactly how this works. I think it's the O2 sensor. Let's just slap it on and see what happens. You take the easy road. But usually when you have that understanding and you know that there's something else that could possibly be wrong, I don't know any technician, diagnostic technician, I know plenty, I don't know any diagnostic technician that would be okay with just slapping on the part, you know. And don't get me wrong, we all do it. There are times where we see so much pattern failures that you just know it's the coil, like on that Ford or something. You know, you did your RC test, you did a quick something super quick, some quick check, and you're like, you already know it's the coil. You just take out the coil to see if there's any oil down there and replace. But in reality, I truly don't know any diagnostic technicians that would be okay with just throwing the part on with absolutely zero testing, just reading a code and replacing the part. That's not how it's done. But I digress. And you guys can see for yourself, this should be bank 2 sensor 1 over here. This one should be grounding once I do that. So hold on. Of course my ground came loose. This is what happens. I've got myself another ground, and there it is. So I'm gonna do it again. This tells me everything is good up to the PCM. See that? And it is rolling away. So yeah, diagnosis concluded. I do believe that this is a result of the O2 sensors, the misfires. It's the chicken or the egg sometimes, because sometimes a misfire can cause the O2 sensors to act up like this. Well, not like this, but they do cause the O2 sensors to act up. They cause false O2 sensor codes. And then there are other times where the O2 sensors are providing incorrect feedback and resulting in incorrect fueling fuel correction, fuel trims, and causing an imbalance between both banks. What was the key here? The key was where we saw the injector opening times. We saw like 2,000, I forgot what it was. It was like 2.5 milliseconds on one side and 3.5 on the other. You guys can see the video. I mean, you saw it for yourselves. We're going to go ahead and replace both of those sensors because I believe something happened there. Now, what killed them is the question, but we won't know until we have O2 sensors that we can trust in order to find out how this engine is running. I don't have a gas analyzer. If I did, I'd probably be comparing both banks and seeing what's wrong. But the thing is that the incorrect feedback from the O2 sensors is going to skew that test. So, all right, fellas, there are our old parts, and yeah, this one gave me a little bit of fun. I had to clean out those threads, but nothing we couldn't handle. Both O2 sensors have been replaced. This is a post-repair repair confirmation. So, yeah, I don't think you would want to see a video of me swapping out O2 sensors. That's pretty boring. So I didn't bother to pick up the camera. So what I've done so far is I've read the codes and I've cleared the codes. Let me make sure that you guys can see this clearly. And we are about to start it. And we're going to look at some live data. So let's go ahead and run it. Our check engine light is cleared out. And we're going to scroll down for some scan information, scan data. And we have, let's see, first thing we noticed last time was the injector pulse opening times, right? So yeah, they're looking a lot more even now, aren't they? So yeah, there was a lot less injector opening before for bank 2. Let's keep going. O2 sensors. Oh, by the way, before we did anything, actually before we actually went through with the whole estimate with the customer, I actually stuck a borescope in both banks to take a look at the cats. The cat number 2 is no good. It's got a huge hole through the honeycomb. So looking at live data, you'll be able to see that, where is it? I didn't pick it out right, sorry. Let me see where I failed in doing so. Where is it? 2 sensor volts. So 1 and 1 2, you can see 1 2 is our cat, post cat O2. It is nice and even, and it is not stuck there. If I rev it up, it reacts. If we look at our 2 2, it is switching just like our 2 1 is. So yeah, notice the difference. This was no longer stuck at 2 point something. This was no longer stuck in ground or lean. So there's definitely no exhaust leak, but the fact that it's pulsating that way, yeah, the cat's no good. The customer declined on that, so we went ahead and replaced those 2 sensors alone. And I forgot to show you the fuel trims. You know, usually you want to see the fuel trims compared to how they were before. Before they were reading extremely rich on one side. So let's go see if that's still the case. We've got our fuel trims are doing pretty decent. They're in the single digits. And let me see if there's an open loop or closed loop. We have both closed loop with no fault, and the check engine light is still off. Let's see if we could get any misfire data. And unfortunately the monitor suspended. I might have to go for a test drive, but this thing is as smooth as can be. So yeah, I will call this a fix because I know when it's fixed. Unfortunately, the customer will not do the cat with us. Maybe they will in the future, but honestly, it's really up to the customer. Can't complain there. So we're happy he decided to do it with us anyway. As a matter of fact, this is the neighbor to Neil. Neil is from ZF Transmissions, and ZF comes around to this shop and pulls some training for us, and they do excellent work. So we're doing Neil's neighbor's car here, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're gonna go ahead and call this one fixed. I appreciate you all for taking the time to join us on this one. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share if you'd like to. What did I miss? I know I missed something. What would you like to have seen? Just leave it in the comment section. And until next time.